Danny, I just figured out that if I switch to Metro PCS, I get 2 Samsung Galaxy phones free.
Cool, Dad.
And I could be a super dad with 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones and call myself Double Galaxy Man.
Or you could give the second phone your sidekick.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
That's right. 2 free Samsung Galaxy On 5 smartphones are all yours when you switch to Metro PCS. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, and thank you for joining us here on the One Single Mother to Another show with Aurora Day and Victoria Shakoor. I am Aurora Day, serial entrepreneur, author, speaker, and professional single mother. I say professional because, hey, after 20 years, you've got to be a pro. Before I go any further, I really need for everyone who is listening to know that you are not here by accident. It's no such thing as a coincidence that you're listening to this show, whether you're here live or you catch this on a replay. What you're about to hear will change your life forever. The answers to the many prayers that you have prayed will be answered through the information coming forth here today. For those of you who are not familiar with me or my brand, once again, I am Aurora Day, and I love helping single mothers capitalize and monetize their natural gifts, talents, and abilities so that they can create the life that they truly desire to live. If you're a single mom living paycheck to paycheck or relying on public assistance to support yourself and your children, then you're in the right place right now. 15 years ago, I started my first full-time business as a single mother with 2 children. I was beyond determined to reach my financial endeavors. Why? Well, thank you for asking. I'm glad you want to know. Why? Because that 9-to-5 income just wasn't cutting it. It wasn't going to make it. And I know that many of you are experiencing that right now. I'm really grateful. I'm grateful to the crazy people who hired me, but I have to admit that I really was not a good employee. I was going to places that I hated, and my children were in schools and daycares. My influence, the influence that you have on your children, I didn't have it on my children. The molding that my children should have been receiving from me, that wasn't happening. The molding was not coming from me. It was coming from other people, strangers who may or may not have shared my personal values. These strangers, they were the people who were influencing my children for several hours a day. So I decided that I had to get radical. I had to become radical about earning a much higher income and radical about taking authority over what my children were being influenced by. So what did I do? I started a business, and I started homeschooling my children. I did the work. I read books. I went to seminars. I went to events where I could meet and mingle with multimillionaires. I was given the information that I needed, the information that I needed to build wealth. But most of all, I was given direction, and that's what we all need. You know that you want more out of your life, but you're not really too sure about how to go about getting it. Well, Mom, you're in the right place, and you're in for a real treat. I'm here to teach and mentor you. I'm going to do for you what I so desperately needed to have done for me. During this broadcast, so the times that Victoria and I come on, we're going to discuss what your financial goals are, and we're going to create the blueprint that you need to achieve them. Do you have a goal to make, $5,000 a month or $5,000 a week? I'm going to show you how to make that happen repeatedly. Whatever your financial goals are, my lovely co-host and I are here to show you how. We're here to show you how we've been utilizing result-driven strategies and techniques that guarantee financial success. If you're ready to enhance your life and become a part of solution-oriented transitional conversation, call in now. The call-in number is 929-477-1773. 929-477-1773. You can also ask your questions and give your input here on the Blog Talk Radio blog. After the show, we invite you to join the One Single Mother to Another Facebook group to continue communicating with each other, all right? So right now, allow me to introduce my lovely co-host and sister in love, Miss Victoria Shakoor. All right, Victoria, you are on the air. We're going to wait for Victoria to get the phone together, and I think she's trying to do that right now. Here we go. Here we go. Victoria, try the call-in number 929-477-1773. Let's see if Victoria... Okay, Victoria, are you on the line? Let's see if Victoria can work the phone.
Can you hear me?
All right, Victoria Shakoor.
Okay, can you hear me? Am I here?
Yes, you're here. I hear you.
All right, awesome. Okay, working those controls, me and technology.
It's all good.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Welcome and shout out to all the fabulous single mothers holding it down and making it happen. Yes, we are happy to have you all here. As my gracious host Aurora stated, I am Victoria Shakoor. I am a single mother of 4 orphan children, in which 2 are high school minors living in the home with me. I am an intuitive parenting coach and a mompreneur. And just to give you a little bit about who I am, people have always complimented me on my children's behavior when they were young and as teenagers, how chilled out they seem to be, how healthy they look and cooperative they are. They would ask, how did you get them to behave so well like that? And what are you feeding them? And they would say things like, if I could only get my 4-year-old to be still like that, or get my teenager to listen to me, et cetera, et cetera. And some of you may be having those same sentiments. But, I never thought anything about it and didn't know how to answer their questions at that time. Because in my mind, they were behaving as I expected them to and doing what they were supposed to do. As time went on and the compliments and questions continued, I would freely give my suggestions, advice, methods that worked for me and others. And people would come back and say, Victoria, when you suggested to do this, it worked. Or when you asked me this question, it made me really think about this and made me change the way I was feeling about the situation. Or the method you gave me, I did it and it worked. Thank you so much. You should think about writing a book or doing a seminar or speaking somewhere. A lot of parents can use your kind of help. Well, after some years and contemplating on that, I began to wonder if there was any help out here for single parents specifically. And if so, what? As I began to research, looking for books and workshops, and coaches, anything, I found that there wasn't a whole lot of help out there. that the information was geared more for parents, not specific to single parenting and our needs, challenges, and issues. With the validation of my parenting skills from my own children, I decided to go through a very thorough training to become certified as a life coach with a passion for helping single mothers. So on this show, I will be addressing our challenges, giving you some general guidance on various situations that we all have and face with our children. Answer some of your questions and give you some methods and suggestions you can use today to start getting the results you desire in resolving any issues you may be having at the moment. We will guide you to realize what type of relationship you want with your child or children and share with you the various stages of growth and how these stages are affected by certain decisions, and so much more information to help you so that you will create and maintain the ideal relationship you desire with your child or children. I am happy to announce I have a forthcoming book soon that is addressing these issues on a deeper level. So I'm looking forward to that within the next few months, and I am so passionate and humbled and excited to be hosting this show with such a dynamic, articulate, and knowledgeable best-selling author and single mother, Aurora Day. My prayer is that you walk away feeling empowered, supported, and most importantly, with something you can use right away that will render an immediate result towards resolving an issue or moving toward the ideal relationship you desire with your child or children. The first hour of our show is focused and dedicated to this. So, Aurora, do you want to move forward to our topic? How are you doing today?
Yes, let's get it started. It is a fabulous Saturday. It's just so beautiful, and I'm really happy that we're here today to reach out to single mothers and assist in making change. So let's get it going.
Yes. We'll start the topic in the short time that we have together. And as Aurora stated, this is an introduction to our show. So stay tuned. You might even want to take some notes. We're not going to go in real deep, but we're going to go into some things that will be very helpful for you today. And what I want to talk about today, Aurora, is single mothers getting a bad rap in the media. Like, why do single mothers get a bad rap? And the reason
why do single mothers get a bad rap in the media?
Yeah, and the reason why I want to talk about this is because it always irritated me. That has always irritated me and kind of nudged me some. Like, why is this? And, I want to give all of us single mothers a hug right now in starting this. And I want you to know how very important, valuable, and needed you are, and especially in these times. We get thrown under the bus a lot from the media, as mentioned, from other married parents and even our men, thinking it was only out of, we're single mothers only out of having sex with a loser or just being promiscuous, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, being a single mother is nothing new. We have been doing this for thousands of years for various reasons and situations. At the same age we have them now. The only difference was in those times, back in those ancient times, most times we were married. However, our husbands would die in war or while they were hunting or sickness. And then as time moved up, coming up to slavery, being raped, our husbands being lynched, sold off, murdered, the various holocausts, and then sickness. And then in this matrix, in addition to being promiscuous and sleeping with losers, we can add leading a relationship to the mix, not getting married in the first place, incarceration of the fathers. However, all those reasons and situations back then are the same reasons and situations now. Nothing is new under the sun, with the exception, I would say, of those of us who have chosen to be single parents through artificial insemination and the advent of fathers coming out as gay, whereas in the past this was hidden or kept a secret. So why do we get a bad rap? Well, what we see is a lot of single mothers are having to make decisions that may not be the best decision for their child or children, nor themselves, but a necessary decision. For instance, the young lady in the article who left her child in the car and was arrested because someone saw the child and called the police, or the mother who left her child in McDonald's while she went to work. While we don't know the full story behind these scenarios, the one thing that was shown is that they were single mothers making a decision of survival that led to their decision being exposed in a negative light. A lot of us are working evening jobs where our children have to be home alone. The child gets in trouble, and again, the decision to take an evening job is put in a negative light. These are just two scenarios, or however, these different situations are in the news constantly. And for those that are being exposed in the media, there are hundreds more occurring that we don't hear about. And no one that I have heard is asking why these mothers don't have a support system and how we can help them. You know, then there's societies, meaning peoples. The society is what people view that being a single parent is bad for society. This is according to a recent Pew study, PEW. And is it the old boogaboo, you know, the welfare mom, raised most recently in connection with the Natalie Portman story? And then you got people making statements like Michael Huckabee claiming that most single moms are very poor, undereducated, can't get a job, and if it weren't for government assistance, their children would be starving to death, which isn't true. But it's statements like these and many more opinions of worldviews that are shared on the world's platform by so-called prominent people that give single moms a bad rap.
Well, we have to go back on what you just said. The comment that the gentleman made about, and I want to say that it's not true in all scenarios. It's not true in all cases, but it is very true in many cases that, yes, when the woman is left to provide not only for herself but for children, everyone suffers. Everyone in the situation will suffer. If there is no family support, if there is no community support, yes, you know, people will be hungry. And the woman, she will be unable to go to somebody's job because she can't afford child care. She can't afford to put clothes on her back. She can't afford to clothe her children. She would have to depend on some form of a crisis assistance where she would go and get free clothing items for herself and her children, get free shoes for herself and her children. She would have to rely on food stamps and what are they calling it now, EFT, you know, and the WIC program, Women and Children, you know, where they give food. She would have no choice because, once again, as you stated previously, these young women, and one of which I posted a story in our Facebook group, One Single Mother to Another, where the young lady, she had a job interview. She has two children. She brought the children to the mall for the job interview. She sat with them in a food court, and the children were very aware of where the mother was going. They were in her sight. She was able to view them where she was interviewing. She could see where the children were. And, of course, some person, some, you know, supposed concerned citizen saw these children and said, oh, they're alone. Let me call the police, okay? Now, instead of this concerned person or people, you know, sitting with the children, because I'm sure the children were old enough to explain, well, my mom is trying to get a job. She's on a job interview. And instead of them saying, well, I'll sit with you until your mom comes back, it has to turn into some type of incident where now the mother is going to be seen as neglectful, abusive, when all she's trying to do is see to it that she is not in a state of poverty, that she is not relying on public assistance. She's trying to get a job. So this statement that the gentleman made is very, very true in many aspects because, yes, in many cases the woman is undereducated and she cannot get a job that will pay enough to support herself and her children. So in this instance, what is the single mother to do if she doesn't have the wherewithal to create something that will provide the necessary finances to support herself and her children?
Mhm. And that is a very, very valid question, and these are very real and serious situations for a lot of single mothers out there. And going back to the topic of the show, why do we get a bad rap? That is one of the reasons, because these decisions that these mothers are making are shared on the world platform in a negative light, as opposed to the question again, how can we help these mothers? Why is it that she's in that situation? Is she somewhere where she's living in a town that she has no family, no friends, no one, no support system? Is it that she has not seeked out any organizations or places that can give her the support that she needs? So what I'd like to do with this segment of the show is explore some of the answers and resolves that we can expose or share with our listening audiences for single parents that are in these situations, what they can do, what are some of the suggestions that we can share for them before we end the show, is what we can do. And also I want to invite a lot of the callers to call in and give us your feedback, your comment on these situations. And what you would
We're going to take a call now. We're going to take a call now, okay? Right now, call is 702-419. You're on the air. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. (702-419). You're on the air.
Hello, hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, this is Pasha. How you doing?
All right now, Pasha. What's going on? Where are you calling from?
I am Pasha. I'm calling from Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Nevada. And I am a single mother, relating to you single mothers from another.
That's right.
Greetings. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Ms. Shakoor. How are you?
I'm good.
What would you like to share today, Pasha, as a single mom? Come on, let's hear it.
And not only do you share, Pasha, in the different scenarios, and maybe you even can add some more scenarios, what would you say would be an answer or a help to single mothers in some of these scenarios?
My whole thing is I am a single mother of 3, and what you were speaking of, how these different scenarios play out with us single moms, it's just big on us creating a support system. As mentioned, we have steered away from that in our culture because we're so competitive, I think, that we don't know how to just be authentic and be ourselves and be vulnerable to each other. So that plays a big part because, we're still searching, and if we don't have our grandmothers and great-grandmothers and people that have that culture instilled in them, I think we're losing that. And so we don't know who we are, so we're just in search of and trying to create something, but we have no blueprint. So that's where our support system comes in, and really trying to focus in on just being there for each other, just everybody come together and just lend a hand where they feel that they can lend. So, I'm just grateful for you women. I don't know if you know, but Miss Aurora is a blessing in my life, and I'm so grateful for her.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, we just need to come together and, put our big girl panties on and just handle our business accordingly and get back to our standard in this crazy world. So once we figure out ourselves, I think we can navigate a little bit better. And
one of the things that I was saying to Victoria on yesterday, as it relates to this topic, and why many, the whole single parent situation is lost in the sauce, is because single parenting has become glamorized in Hollywood. We see women like,
the Teen Mom Show.
Yeah.
Teen Mom from 15, 15.
All of this is out here. Sandra Bullock adopting these 2 children by herself. Madonna adopting children. So this whole thing, and like you said, the teen mom is just making light of the fact that this is a real cross to bear. This is a cross to bear. This is not an easy thing. And then, like Victoria is saying, a lot of women have these children, and unfortunately the fathers are incarcerated. The fathers are incarcerated. So even if they wanted to be a part of their children's lives and support financially, they can't do it. So, Victoria, what are your thoughts on the solutions as it relates to these women? Because you're saying, support group. But I have to tell you from personal experience in being a single mom with a child who had special needs, okay, there weren't too many things that were available to us, to him, okay? And I went a lot of places. So what do you have to lend to that? Because I found that if we don't create something ourselves, we're just not going to get the assistance that we really need with the children. But even before that, it's the financial aspect. That we need to gain control over, so that we don't have to come out and say, "Oh, we need help." You know what I'm saying? How is it that we're going to get these women together? Because one of the things that Pasha just said, there's some competitive situations going on. There are some thought processes. There's some ego, some things that are impeding on the progress of these women due to their own, you know what I'm saying, ignorance.
Yeah, and it's a very serious situation because, like you said, in some places in our country there is no organization or groups or anything like that, at least that according to research, of the parent, if you don't know who to ask, and if nothing is online, what do you do and where do you go?
That's why we have to create, I think. I really do.
And especially
I don't
if you don't have
that anymore.
Exactly. And so I agree with you 100%. That is, in that circumstance, is something that we have to do. Now, here's the question that I would pose, and that is that single mother that's in that situation, and we're proposing that, okay, we need to start something ourselves. So how would that single mother even start that for herself? Because right now, her mind is in surviving mode right now. She's attempting to survive and feed her children right now. She can't think about starting a group and doing all these other things. Right now, I need to get some monies in the house, get food on the table, take care of these children. Now, before I even go into the different options that single mothers have before them that maybe they haven't thought about, and one of them is, if that father is not, and Aurora and I was building on this last night, if that father is not incarcerated, and if he's not a child molester, and if he's not on drugs or alcohol or anything like that. Another option that single mothers may not want to consider but may have to consider is letting those children go with that father.
Mm-hmm.
That's an option. That is an option. And it's a hard option for a lot of us mothers because we have that connection with our babies. You know, we carried them for 9 months and went through a lot of pain having them. So, and some of us went through a lot of pain carrying them. So to be able to just give them up like that is a very hard decision. But it is an option that I believe we should explore. And there are different, I would say, there are things online now. It's almost like nothing is really out of reach anymore. A lot of single mothers are very proud. They don't want to ask for help. And they're living in what I call silent desperation. You know, they don't want to ask for help. They don't want to reach out. They don't want anybody there. It's a shame that is attached with it because of those statements and the glamorization. Because going back to what you said with the glamorization, well, those women, they're not financially struggling. And
exactly.
And that's why they're able. That's why they're able to do what they're able to do.
Yeah.
And then, so, you know, when you're looking at just the regular, you know, person that's not famous, that's not a millionaire or a multimillionaire or anyone like that can do the things like a Sandra Bullock and a Madonna. We're talking just a regular mom, like Pasha said, that's just dealing with being a single mother, whether that father is incarcerated, whether he was killed, whether it be a divorce, or whatever the case may be, all of the scenarios that I mentioned in the beginning of the show. These are all the various reasons why a mother would be single. And so exploring what we can do to help this situation is the reason I wanted to bring this up in this show, because it's a very serious situation, and I want to explore the different options that single mothers have and that maybe they have not thought about. And one of them is we may have to let that father take that child in or take those children in until we can ourselves get ourselves together. That's one option. There are meetup groups that you can type in, all kinds of meetup groups for single parents. And single parents, you know, we have to get out here and network and make friends with people, especially if you move into a town where you don't know anyone, you don't have family there. You know, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Friends. If you get a job, you may make friends on your job. It could turn out to be a very good friendship. We're not, you know, when it comes to our children, we're very protective, so we're not going to just trust anyone with them. And that's why we make these decisions that I will just, you know, I'm going to go on this interview, take my children with me, because, you know, we don't trust, you're not going to just trust anybody with your children to leave them someplace. But there are options out there, is what I want to bring to these single mothers' attention, that there are so many options out there. We just have to dig and be able to present that. And if you are a single mom in that position, whatever you find, somehow you need to get the message out there that, oh, hey, I found this organization or I found this group. And it turns out that the person in the group has formed a group to support, that we support each other and keep each other's children. All kinds of different things that can occur that maybe we haven't thought about. And there's different social media that we can tap into, that we may discover some things like Twitter and Instagram and different things outside of Facebook that can offer us some suggestions as well. We just have to dig and explore outside the box of our normal things that we think about that maybe can be of help. Because like you said, there may not be an organization in your city or town, but there may be just another single mom somewhere that's getting something together because she was once in that situation. And that is the person we need to seek out.
I do. I'm hearing that, number one, there has to be a willingness. Because one thing I do know, and I know women who have had no choice but to do this, but out of fear and desperation, they will leave their children with friends or family members who are alcoholics, drug addicts, you know, and it's not because they want the children to stay there. It's because, you know, they're afraid that, you know, if they don't show up to work today, they won't have a job. And there's a young lady who she called in. She did not have child care because she could not afford the child care. The woman who was watching her child said, you know, if she didn't have the money to pay, she could not watch the child. She called in to work, and the job said to her, if you do not come in today, you do not have a job. So out of fear, in a state that's very hot, she puts her 2 small children into the automobile, and she drives to work. She goes to work. She's so afraid she does not come back outside to check on the children. At the end of the day, she comes to the car, and the children have expired. The children died. Now, the story states that she herself is not the individual who found the children dead. There were some people in the parking lot that saw the children they thought the children were asleep. And they did call the police because, hey, I've seen these kids in here for a period of time now. Now, this young lady is incarcerated for the rest of her life. So what is to be said of the situations where these women are frightened to the point that they can't think straight? They can't think about the danger that they're putting themselves in, the danger that they're putting the children in. What is to be said to these women? And we do have another caller that we're going to take now. One moment. Let's see. Pastor McKenzie, you're on the air.
Yes. Greetings to you.
Greetings.
Greetings in the name of Jesus
Greetings.
Christ. Yeah. I don't know if you are Christian or not, but it doesn't matter really. We are all one together.
That's right.
Yeah, I've been listening to what you're saying, dear, and it's all about women. I decided to come in from the UK. Yes, praise God. And I was listening, and I said, but come and think of it and look at it really from, it don't have to be a woman or a man, because men have to go through that as well. Okay?
Yes.
And I myself was married, and my wife left me with 2 girls, 2 beautiful girls. Their mom is Italian, and they're very beautiful girls are. And I had to bring them up on my own. There was only about 5.5 and 6. And I could have said, let the government take them and look after them, but I love my children, you understand? And and I decided to say, because I love my children so much, I decided to bring them up on my own. But at the same time, my brother and my sister was very concerned about that. A man bringing up 2 beautiful girls on their own and things like that and so forth. So they said that I should get a wife, you know what I mean, and get married and settle down. But I've been listening to what you're saying, dear, and there are men out there that want a good woman, you understand, and I want a good wife. Yeah. And I'm one of them. I'm still single. I said, so many people out there single.
Let's hear this. You want a good woman? Okay.
And a suffering and going through that, they don't have to. Because if a man really know his duty as a man, he ought to be looking after his woman, you understand? And ought to marry her, settle along with her, and treat her as his queen. And he becomes our king. You understand? Yes. But the point is just really true. You don't find men out there again. You don't find good men out there again, right? You don't find devoted men. You don't find loving men out there again. Because you see, what these men go after, they go after the flesh. And they seek after the flesh, right? And all they want is just straightforward sex. And that's it. And from there, have what they want, satisfy the ego, they're gone. You understand? The woman gets pregnant and left with the child. And then she left her in this predicament where she herself don't know what to do now, how to bear a child. She may be a young woman, and she don't know what to do. You understand? Her mom don't want to know her. Maybe she don't have a mom. Maybe she don't have a dad. vice versa. But the point is this, really truly, that these young women and the middle-aged women as well, you understand, they get into it as well, and it happens to them as well, because they go looking for a husband, and they get the wrong husband or wrong man in their life because they are lonely and they need someone in their life, okay? And they end up in bed with them before they get married or whatever, or they might marry to them and they get pregnant, and they end up again in the same situation as they was before. You understand?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You see? So they don't know what to do. They're confused. You understand? You see, like you talk about that woman that gone to work, leave a child in the car. Okay.
Yeah.
But that was really stupid and really neglectful, and that wasn't love for her children. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Not that she didn't love her children, but she didn't have the knowledge nor the understanding. But common sense tell you that to leave your child in the car and go to work. You can't do that. It's impossible. You don't do stupid things like that. You understand me?
Yes.
But still, at the same time, she did it, and it happened, and she lose her children. She ended up in prison now, right? But what comes to me in that then is this. Women should come together. Single women should come together, because I'm in the UK and I can't do nothing about that over in America. But women should come together. Should come together. When they come together, then these single women try to do something. Think about something, as I said, outside the box, right? To do something. Think of something creative to do together that you can help each other. You understand? Because the men are not there to help you. So help each other. Come together and help each other, work together, bring ideas and come together and help each other. I'm sure that something can be done about that in that manner. Because as I was saying concerning this, is that I brought up my two girls on my own. You understand? Mm-hmm. And I'm not working, and I have to bring them up on my own. Now, my daughter is now she went to college now, and she came out of college, and she's going to university now. She's studying business course. Okay, praise be to God. Okay, and she's 21, and my other daughter, she's 22. She now, she get pregnant anyway. I warned her and told her, but she said to me, she was straightforward to me. She point blank. She told me, I said, Rebecca, listen, don't be careful. Might get pregnant. She said, Dad, I love sex. Straightforward, like that. Little after that, she met this guy. I said to her, she went to this barbecue, some family barbecue, and she met this guy. I was there, and I said to her, come on, time to go home now. She said, no, Dad, I'm not ready yet, okay? And the same guy that she was there with ended up getting her pregnant, okay, and treat her like rubbish. You understand? She grew up in the church. These are two girls that brought up in the church, you understand? And we got married in the church, you understand? Okay? And I had them in wedlock, not out of wedlock, in wedlock, in the church. And she walked out and left me and gone because she couldn't cope with the two girls. You understand? But still, I persevere and brought them up as a man, single parent, a man on my own, right? Because I know I had to do it. I start off in the beginning a little bit rough, on the rough edge, really. You understand? When I say rough edge, I mean to say that I beg God to bring my wife back. I pray to Him to bring my wife back. Nothing happened. She didn't come back at all. What that means that then I end up backsliding, end up back in the world, end up drinking, right? End up going to pub, end up taking the children to the pub as well, right? Come from school, end up in the pub with them. They themselves end up eating fish and chips in the pub, right? And thank God He changed my life and brought me back into the church. You understand? And I get my life straightened out with my children and brought them up in the right and proper way. And I thank God for how they turn out to be now. And I give God the honor and the glory. You understand? Because outside the box, outside Christ, there's nothing outside of there. I know we're talking about women, but God is the answer. Jesus is the answer. No matter what, I was out there in the world there, and I know what it's like out there. And mind you, I wasn't easy. I was a nice man out there. Mind you, I was a woman chaser out there. Okay?
Well, you were a woman chaser. Well, let me ask you a question, Pastor McKenzie, because you're saying that you were a single dad and you had to raise your daughters on your own. Now, you said that you were working. Were you working in a place that paid you a proper wage? Did you have to look for assistance? What were the needs that you had as a single father that may have not been met? What were those things? And how did you deal with those things?
I wasn't working.
You were not working.
I was not working, my sister, okay? I wasn't working. I was a single man, not working, and I had to bring those two girls on my own, up on my own. No support from my family, no support from my brother, no support from my sister, no support from my mother, no support from my father, no support from nowhere. I had to do it my own as myself. I was like a black sheep of the family. Okay, you understand? So I was one of those, right? But the others, they was educated and looked after properly. So I didn't get much good education. I had to do everything. And when I came to Christ and came in the church then, right, and I found that Jesus Christ is real, it made a difference in my life. Because if I didn't find Jesus in my life, okay, and become a Christian and born again Christian, I probably would have been dead now. I would have ended up a drunkard in the street because that's where I was. I was a drinking every day. You understand? Because when my wife left me, okay, I ended up drinking so much that I wasn't eating. I was losing weight. And I said to myself, no. I have to come to my senses. You understand? Like the prodigal son. I have to come to my senses. And I said, no, I don't want to end up as a trump on the street because I see these trumps on the street. I'm going to end up like that. And I don't want to end up like that because my brother, my sister, my family, none of my family is like that. So why should I end up like that? So I made up my mind, okay, to change my life, right? And that's how I changed my life completely there. You understand? Praise be to God.
Okay, so the first thing I heard you say, which is important for everyone who's stuck in a place, because you're saying you were depressed. You were depressed. You were stressed. Felt alone. You didn't know what to do, not only with yourself as a man who was being divorced, whose wife left, you know, and you felt abandoned, but you knew that you had to raise these children. Now, you're saying you did not have a job. So how is it that you earned money? Where did the financial assistance come from to do this?
Well, over here you get child benefit, you get a child tax credit, and I get my income support money. Okay, so I had to build my children's life on that and my life on that, and to support them with that money from that income there. And that's all I had to
so it's kind of like a public assistance. It's a public assistance, like we have here in the United States.
Yeah, so I had to use that, and I made do with that, right? And I know how to angle it. I have to budget like by looking at saying, yes, my son is coming from school, my daughter's coming from school. I have to provide this for him, for her. Okay, what I'm gonna give them, I think ahead what I'm gonna give them today, tomorrow, and so forth, things like that. You know, how much for gas, how much for electric. You understand? How much it costs me for electric, how much it costs me for gas for the week, and things like that. So I had to budget, and I had to make a list in my mind to know what I'm doing. You understand? And I have to make it last until I get paid again.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're saying is for the women, because we have many women who are on this public assistance. Now, I don't know how much assistance is in your country, but I have heard from women here that they would get $272 a month. And chime in, Victoria, because I think that, and Pasha, because I want to say it's $272 a month, and you have to do something to even get that. But they do get more money for the food stamps, as I understand it. And Victoria and Pasha, you guys can tell me if this is correct. But I understand that the food stamps are maybe in the $500 range, but the monies would be like $272 a month. Now, I don't know how you survive off $272 a month. I don't know. So you ladies have to tell me, what is it in this country that
it depends on the state you live in, Aurora. Different states have different systems in place. For instance, and it may depend on also the city that you live in as well. For instance, here in San Antonio, you can get assistance. You can even get emergency assistance help to pay your rent if you fall into hard times. And in order to they will give you enough according to your family size and what you're paying, and then also you will get the food stamps, and you also they now have it now where you have to kind of work to receive those benefits. In other words, you have to be attending classes. They have classes set up here that you can attend and teach you how to fill out a resume and how to conduct yourself an interview and what skills you want to go into. But you have to report and fill out papers and all of that kind of stuff to show that you are working towards getting off the assistance. In the meantime, while you're doing that, they give you enough to live on, and then there's low-income housing that's available and all of those things. So here in San Antonio, a single mother can get a lot of help. They have other organizations and programs here to help single mothers. They have after-school programs here for mothers who work that your children can get involved in the public school that doesn't cost you anything, so that if you get off work at 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, your child is at the school that it attends, that he or she attends. And so you have those different programs. Now in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's the same thing. You have to be attending classes now. They have different programs. So it just depends on the city and state that you live in. And what I'm finding is that, like, for instance, I believe it was in, I think it was Louisiana or Oklahoma, one of those two. You may not get as much money, but you get more for food. But however, you get you qualify for low-income housing. So it goes according to what you're receiving or the rent you would be paying. So let's say if you're getting $279 a month and because you only have one child, or let's say you're getting $500 a month because you have 2 children or 3, something like that, your rent might be $65 a month, and that's how they balance it. Mm-hmm.
Now, how long can a person stay on this system? How many years are you given by the state to do this? And I'm asking this question because, just like Pastor McKenzie was saying, he had to utilize these benefits for a time until he got himself together. So how long can a woman be on this type of public assistance?
I know here in the state of San Antonio, I don't know about other places, but you renew every 6 months. So what they're looking at is your progress. They want you, well, I know you renew every 6 months, and then if you are still within that process, you just renew it. They give it to you another 6 months, something like that. In the state of Wisconsin, I think you renew it once a year. So every year you would renew. If you are working and you're receiving food stamps because your job is not paying you enough to meet that need, I believe you have to renew every 3 months. You have to hand in a quarterly report in case if you've gotten a raise and things like that. So they do monitor you when you are receiving that help. But you know what? That is an option. And you may have to get that particular help so that you don't put yourself in these scenarios where people are calling the police on you and not finding out what the situation is, just calling the police, and now you're out there in a bad light again. And this is how single mothers get a bad rap, because when these incidences occur, they get put out there in the media right away. And then already with the consensus of societies and these so-called studies that they do, that just adds to it. You see what I'm saying? So for every single mother out there, and then, like you said, glamorizing it, it's how, it's just getting this bad rap, and they don't look at all of the people like the Reverend that just spoke, and the single mothers that have raised awesome children.
Yes.
They have raised awesome children, and these children are phenomenal. And you have, like Dr. Ben Clark, who is the world-renowned neurosurgeon, comes from a single mother, and he tells a story about his mother working 2 jobs, and they were at home alone and different things. But you know what? She came home with enough energy, and she had enough energy and love, because it is love. A lot of us, we think we know what love is, but we don't. But that's a whole other thing. But it is it's a lot of love for self and love for your children that you have, that when you come home, even though you're tired, you say, no TV. This is what you're going to do. You see, you're going to read this, or I need this. Did you hand this in? What's going on here? Different things like that. So all of these things play a part in these single mothers making these decisions that get exposed in the media. And they're making these decisions because of the various reasons that we're talking about now. And I love the fact that we're exploring how we can help these mothers not have to make these decisions. And some of it is common sense things, okay? Some of it is,
well, let me give another one. Since Pastor McKenzie brought this up, he stated that you should have common sense. You should not think to do things like that. You should already know this is not, what I need to do. Now, here's another one.
They're functioning out of a survival mode. They're not in that type of mindset. They're functioning out of a survival mode only. That's it. They're just trying to survive, and they're not taking the time to breathe and say, okay, you know what? That job is not more important than my child.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to apply for assistance and take the free classes that they're offering, because now it's not like back in the day you can just go down and apply for assistance and get your food stamps and you were good and sit on your butt and you know what I'm saying, and not try to do anything and just keep having those babies to increase those checks. Let's keep it real. So now, now
as well. Can I say something here?
Now, when you go and get this help, now a lot of states, and I can't speak for all the states, but I'm pretty sure a majority of them are jumping on the board with this, and now you're having to attend classes. They're offering free classes for you now. And it's almost like you have to work for that money, but you're going to classes and different programs. And this is a way for single mothers to learn what other programs are out there as well, because they're going to come through different agencies such as that.
Yeah.
Okay, Pastor McKenzie, you wanted to say something?
Yes, thank you very much. I respect that and I appreciate that. Yeah, what happened here is that you cannot help a person. No, first question I want to look at is this: the parents. Who do they love more? Do they love themselves more than their children? Or do they love the children more than themselves? Okay? Who do you put first? Now, you can try to help a person, okay? You can take a horse to the water. You cannot make it drink it, okay? In other words, right, who do you want to help more? You want to help the children more, or do you want to help yourself more, okay? Because if I, okay, myself, was still out there in the world, didn't come to Christ, okay? No, everybody got a weakness. Everyone got a weakness in them, okay? These people may have a weakness in them, okay? It may be drinking, it may be smoking, okay? Now, if you're not in the church, you will find yourself out there in the world, there, enticed to do things and go places that you don't really want to go. You understand? And mix with people you don't really want to mix with at times. You understand? So the choice is up to you. The choice is yours. You understand? Now, it's up to them whether they want to really set to help the child, to bring the child up to be better than them in the future, to do something for them. You understand? They are trying to help themselves. Because you can help the person, okay, as much as you can help them, and you help them, and they themselves find themselves going back to the same thing again over and over and over again. You understand? Because I find myself in that situation, was going back and back all the time. I want to change, want to stop doing the drinking and everything, okay? Although I knew Christ, although I was a Christian, although I was a backslider, I had the children to bring up, I found myself going back and back and back all the time, back to the same thing again. Okay, because I was stressed out, okay, depressed, everything, okay, all I was going mad, I was going crazy, believe it, trust me. I wouldn't want my worst enemy to go through it, because my mind was in hell, right, my soul was in hell, my belly was in hell. I wanted to get out of myself and run from myself, right, and I couldn't, and I was crying tears in the church, crying. Right, in the church, okay, and while I was crying there, okay, people think I was rejoicing and happy, and I was tears in my eyes, but I was crying because I needed help. I needed help, and God sent someone to call me up onto the church and said, God said heal in your mind, and it took about 6 months to heal my mind. Why? because of what? My wife left me 2 years, right? I was trying to get her back. Wasn't eating, wasn't drinking, and nothing at all, okay? And because of that, then I stressed out and couldn't do nothing for my children, not for myself, okay? And people like that, or their mothers out there, their boyfriend leave them, their husband leave them because they love them so much, right? And they stress out with the kids or whatever that is there, you understand? But if they really need help and they really want to be helped, right, they themselves then really and truly, they will make a difference, right, by making their mind up and saying, look, I'm going to budget. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop going club. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop doing that now. I'm going to start to save. I'm going to make a difference in my life to help my children.
So what I'm hearing is you have to have a plan. You can't just, because like I was that's going back to what I was saying about a lot of the mothers are making these decisions out of just survival only. They're kind of hysterical. They're desperate, and they just want to survive, and that's all they're thinking about. They're not, and that's why I know a lot of single mothers, just breathe. Just take your time and breathe, and think about what it is that you want. And now your mind can start to come up with a plan and say, okay, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to apply for this assistance. I'm going to look for this support group. I'm going to apply for this assistance and get these food stamps for now. It's temporary. And then I'm going to take advantage of all the programs that are out there for me so that we can live the best way that we can right now. And then inside those programs, okay, you're going to be exposed to other programs. I'm going to take advantage of those. I'm going to take advantage of this class. I'm going to take advantage, I've had a dream. I've always wanted to be in business for myself. All right, what are the steps that I need? Who do I need to seek out that can help me get started with that? Exactly. What do I need to do to help me get started so that I'm not in this position, so that I give my children the best options? But as of right now, what I need to do right now so that I don't make these desperate decisions. You see?
Well, that's what I just heard Pastor McKenzie say, Victoria, is something very significant about his emotional and spiritual state of being. There was another single mother who she had been going through a lot with her 3 children. Okay, she was going through a lot with one of the fathers. She could not seem to make ends meet. She could not seem to get her life together. She was completely devastated, as Pastor McKenzie is describing. She was depressed to the point where she wanted to die. So what does she do? She gets in her automobile and she drives it into the river. Okay, her son, the oldest child, he's trying to get out of the car. Now the car is submerged in the water. But due to the grace, this child makes it out of the car. And he hears his mother say she wishes that she had thought differently. In the moment that she is drowning, she says to the child, I wish that I had been able to think differently. He gets out of the car and he runs for help. But by the time he gets help, it is too late. Not only has his mother drowned, but his 2 siblings drowned. Okay, where is the assistance for the emotional, the spiritual, and the mental state of being for these single mothers, these single parents, when they're distraught like this?
Counseling.
And that's a horrible, horrible situation and a horrible story. And it's unfortunate that, even with as many programs that are available, as many people that would love to have assisted this mother, we just don't know who all they are. You know what I mean? Who are these mothers are, because like I said before, some of these mothers live in silent misery, silent desperation. They're not reaching out for help. They're just in their own head making decisions and not reaching out for help. We just don't know, and we don't know who they are. So it's unfortunate that, we just, no matter how many organizations are available, how much help is out there, we're just not going to reach everyone. And it's unfortunate because they have to know to try to do their best to reach out for help in these different situations, I remember back when I was growing up as a young adult, when I was having my children, and there was a thing, and the society puts labels on things. and they were a lot of children. They were labeled them latchkey children. You remember those?
Latchkey kid. Latchkey, yeah.
Yes, I was a latchkey child. You see,
mm-hmm.
and so that was a label that was put on a lot of single mothers, because that was a shot at single mothers again. Because these children, and then they were saying, well, you know, these latchkey children, they're this and they're that and all that and all this. So a lot of those children had to be home by themselves, a lot of times raising themselves. So a lot of these situations, these mothers, a lot of them are doing the best they can be, but there are those who are going through depression. They're going through a thing with their fathers and different things, and that's why I pose to think outside the box as far as, you know, some of these mothers, you may have to decide to let that father raise those children. You know, if he's not, you know, an alcoholic or on drugs that you know of, you know, okay, you may have to make that decision. That is an option that you have, because a lot of single mothers don't think that that is an option. We don't even go there with it. We don't even go there. You know what I mean? And so that's like the last thing that's going to happen is I'm going to give my children to you. And let's keep it real. Some of these mothers are going through these things because they're mad at the father, angry with the father, and despite that man, they'd rather go through this struggle than to let that man go ahead and raise those children until they get themselves together. And
yeah,
so,
you said something. Yeah, sorry. You said something there very interesting there, that that the people that are going through, the single mothers that are going through this problem here, they themselves don't reach out for help. You understand? And they don't know how to reach out for help. Okay, some of them are just won't do it. You know what I mean? Because they just draw back into their shell. You understand? And just hurt it there and don't know what to do. They're confused. Okay. But what come to me as you said that is that it's good if we as people that care and concerned about them, okay, is to reach out to them. If they're not reaching out to us, we reach out to them. You say, but how can we reach out to them? Okay, there's a lot of things going on the TV, a lot of things going on the radio program. Okay, we can reach out to them in that manner. Yes, and all over the world, or in your county, or in your in town. You understand? In your own state. You understand? And can encourage other states to do the same as well.
Yes. And here's the other thing that I'm hearing. Pastor McKenzie also stated, no one in his family desired to assist him with his children. So how is it that we encourage families to become involved with these single mothers, these single fathers, in helping to raise the children and be an emotional, spiritual, and mental support? How can we encourage the families to do this? And mute something or turn something down, Victoria. You have an echo coming from your end.
I didn't do anything different.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so are you hearing an echo now?
No, I don't hear it now.
Okay, all right. It may be that we still have the callers on the line.
Pastor McKenzie's mic is open, but on your end, do you have the computer volume up? What's going on back there?
No, I don't.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you hearing this echo? You're good? Okay.
I'm not hearing it at this moment.
Okay, all right. All right. One of the things that I heard the pastor say as well was that all the things that he went through, the depression, you know, the loneliness, no support or any of the things, the one thing I did hear him say is that he made the decision. He made a decision that I'm going to pick myself up and I'm no longer going to live like this. I love my daughters. And I'm going to change. See, it starts with you. It starts with you. And a lot of times, even though he was in such despair, and like he said, his belly was in hell, he was like in hell. And while there are a lot of people that are reaching out, there are some people you're not going to reach. No matter, like I said before, no matter how many programs out there that are doing their best to reach out to a lot of these single mothers and fathers, there are going to be some that you're just not going to reach. So if they're not reaching out for their help, they're going to be those few that it's going to be in their head making these decisions. And so what he decided to do was turn to the church. And that's what helped him be able to, as I always say, just breathe and take the time and breathe and come up with a plan and put your pride aside and go get the help that is available to you. And that's what
Amen.
I did.
Amen.
And when he did that, then his life started to change.
Yep.
And he was able to take care of his children the way that we know single fathers and single mothers can do. Despite what is put out there in the media, about single parents, we do a wonderful job raising our children when we have the support and the help that we need. We do need that. And when we are in our right mind. Yeah. And the only way to get to your right mind is you're going to have to sit back and breathe and not worry about all those things just yet, because then the Creator will download to you what to do. Something, the message will come to you. It may come to you from a stranger. It may come to you through church. It may come to you through an organization. It may come to you through the assistance. But if you're acting out of desperation, this is what I want single parents to really grasp this. If you're feeling desperate in your stomach right now, you know what I mean? You're having some issues with the fathers. You're having issues right now on how you're going to pay your bills, how you're going to eat or whatever. I want you to just breathe. Just breathe. Just sit and breathe and think. And also write down all the help that you know is out there for you. And then start reaching out for that.
And also you can... And also you can write down. Yeah, sorry, Karen. Also you can write down. Also you can write down. Okay, all the things that I ought not to do, and write down the things that I ought to do to be better myself in life. But you have to make up your mind. You have to have a mindset. You understand? You have to focus. You cannot look to the right, look to the left, or look behind. You cannot listen to what people are telling you. And I say some might give you good advice and all and so forth and things like that. Yes, but the only counsel you need to help you, right, to make the right decision. At the end of the day, it's you going to make the decision, right? They can counsel you as much as they want until you grow old, and you'll never make a change, right, in your life, okay? It will be the same unless you make a decision and to take the course that and get on that road and focus on it, right, where your destination, right, where you want to go, right? Otherwise, you ain't going nowhere. You're going around in circle and circle and circle. There are some people, listen, I'll say something here. There are some people that have wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and all these things and so forth. But at the same time, they don't have Jesus in their life. You understand? Because He makes the difference. I know, right? People don't want to talk about Jesus, don't talk about God, don't talk about this, right? But at the end of the day, really and truly, you gotta face your Maker. At the end of the day, okay? So you got to make that decision now, okay? And that decision, right, is focusing on the things that God wants for you, the best of the best, okay? Because we don't want to think about it again in that way. But there is a devil out there, there's a Satan out there, there's a Lucifer out there, there's a principality, there's a prince, and all these things are there. You understand? To get you not to focus on the right things. Why? Because he hates you. He wants to destroy you, and that is his job. You understand me? Okay? So in other words, it is not you. Don't blame the person, right? But you have to look beyond the norm and look at what is causing the problem. Deal with the root of the problem to get rid of it, right? That the person can able then to function in the right manner.
I like that. I like that because what I'm hearing is this is something that you have to put into practice on a daily basis. Like you cannot allow a day to go by that you are not working on yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. You have to stay on guard of the things that you're thinking, the things that you're doing, the places that you're going, the people that you're around, the influences that you're allowing into your life, the influences that you're allowing into your children's lives. So I want to hear from Miss Pasha because she has young children. Pasha, what is it that you do on a daily basis to assist yourself and to harmonize with your children as you're growing together and you're making decisions that not only help yourself but help your children now and reaching into the future?
Well, that's an everyday battle. We all know that. So, like you were saying, it comes back to self and being mindful of your environment, being mindful of who you let in your life, who is your role models, place that you go. You never know how those can affect you personally, and then that triggers down to your children.
Yes.
My thing is always go back to self. Always have some type of boundaries or some type of self-goals, morals, values. If you don't have those, you will never be able to withstand these times because it's tested and questioned every day, either by your family, anybody that you can assume possible is going to test you.
Yep.
And just keep your kids first. Keep God first. Keep your kids first. And if you're not right, you can't help anybody else. So always go back to self.
Yes.
Just take time.
So with that being said, what I want to do is I want to just kind of go down some of the options that single mothers have that they can tap into to get the support that they need. And if anyone wants to chime in and add to that, I welcome that. So the first thing I want to go down is, first of all, is you do have the option. If things are really bad, but before you make that decision to leave that child at McDonald's or in the car or anything like that, I want you to think about, do you really have the option that you can leave that child with their father? Because that is another option that you have, and you may have to make that decision. Also, if you have
now, let me just ask a question, Victoria. You keep saying leave the child with the father. Are you saying give the father custody of the child?
You can work that out with the child. I just want to go through the list of options first, and then we can go delve into it if you want to, as far as what that is. But that might be an option to give him custody, or you can have joint custody or shared custody or whatever you have nowadays. You can work if you can talk to each other, you can work that out. If you give the father custody of that child, and with the understanding that you have no money so that he won't be coming to you for child support. Because now a lot of these fathers are going after these mothers for child support too.
Right.
So that's another issue. Okay? So that's something that you would work out. This is in general for our callers that are on the line and people that are listening to this conversation, because everybody's situation is different and it will be catered to each individual's circumstance and situation. So, but that is an option. Now, another option is if you do have children that are of school age, to see if your school have an after-school program. Does it cost or is it free? Will they bring the children home, or do you have to pick them up after the school program? So you can look into these things and see how that works around your work schedule. Is somebody in the area that, or is meetup groups? I'll put it this way: meetup groups in the area that is supporting that is a supportive meetup group for single mothers. Is there something like that in your area? You might want to start researching that. Is there organizations to assist you not only with just help financially and food stamps, but with the watching of your children while you're at work or school? Not a daycare, but a support group that say, hey, this week y'all bring the children at my house at this time, blah, blah, blah. You work out the times, and then next week the children go over this person's home and things like that. And because you are a supportive group, you know each other, and this has been they're pretty much established, and the trust is there, and you can pretty much trust them. Okay, because even some daycare centers they get in trouble every now and then for certain things.
Yes.
So we all have to take a chance on trusting somebody in life. You're not going to go through life without having to trust someone. Okay, that's just the way it is. But when they show themselves or something happens, then you know to move on. So always have more than one thing in your back pocket. So, but these are just a list of some of the options that single fathers and single mothers have that can help them out so that they don't make desperate decisions that's not good for them, their child, or their children. So after-school programs, see about that in your area if you have children that are school age. Also, if your children have to, if they're old enough, they're 11, 12, 13, and things like that, 8, 9, and they have to be home for a couple hours until you get home. So they get home from school at 3:45, you get off work at 5. So you have those couple hours in there where they are home by themselves. Okay? Now your parenting skills are coming into play. Okay? What you say to them and your relationship with them, do they know how to act? Do they know how to conduct themselves? Do they know to say, if somebody calls and speak to you and you're not home, not to say that you're not home, but to say that you're unavailable right now or that you can't come to the phone right now? Do they know not to answer the door? All right? Do they know if they to look out the window and see who it is, and only certain people they can answer the door, but everybody else know you don't answer the door? See? So are you teaching your children these things, survival skills, and helping them understand why they need to know these things? All right? So you have those situations. That's another option. You have an option of meetup groups. You have options of seeking out organizations that support you. So these are the different options that you do have that you can seek out. Because if you have family members in the town and they're not willing to help you out, there's not much you can do about that. You can't force a family member to help you. And for those of you who have to depend on family members that, like you were saying, Aurora, that is, they had to leave it with this cousin who's on crack, or they had to leave it with leave the child with this uncle who's, an alcoholic or something like that, because you didn't have a choice. This is where you're going to have to make a choice. Is that job more important, or my child? Do I have to get on some assistance until I can do better? And so I won't have to leave them with this, alcoholic or this drug person. You know what I'm saying? Because those people can lead to other things that they do as well, and you don't want that in a child.
Exactly.
So these are things that you want to look at, and I would say get out there and network and make friends in these meetup groups. Start making friends with people. If you're in a town and you have no family around you, get out there and network and start making friends with these meetup groups. Get involved with these organizations. If you have children in school, get involved with the Teachers Association, because they have information. A lot of times it's not because you want to be involved, it's just that you want to be led to more information. You see, because the information is what's going to give you the knowledge and the power that you need to be the mother you need and to get the support that you need. So that's that would be my suggestion for a lot of single mothers in that position, in those different, so that you don't create those scenarios for yourself and your children. Anybody want to add to that, Aurora, Pastor, Reverend? Do we have any other callers on the line?
No, we're going to wrap it up right now, Victoria. We're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
And I want to thank Pastor McKenzie, and I pray that you call back Pastor McKenzie, because we will be back on Tuesday, May the 17th. I want to thank Ms. Pasha and ask that you call back for our next show, which is May the 17th. Once again, I am Aurora Day, and you can find me at There's Something Going On. There's an Amber Alert. Look at that. There's an Amber Alert going on right now. And these are other topics that we will address during this show, because we have a lot of parents who take children from other parents. And it's just not. It says the child is located in the suspect's custody, so they have caught the parent who took this child, and they are now reporting that they do have the child, and the child is in the custody of the person who took the child. Very, very interesting. You know, all of these alarming things. You know, our children. We must treat them just like an endangered species. Our children are endangered species, just like they do animals, where they take animals to these secluded places and let people know you don't harm these animals. They're endangered. We have to feel the same way about our children in this world, unfortunately. But I am Aurora Day. You can find me on iTunes, The Secured Entrepreneur Show. You can find me at my website, auroradayconsulting.com. That's AURORAHDEY consulting.com. On Twitter, at Aurora Day. And on Facebook, please come and join us in the One Single Mother to Another group. We will come back for our full 2-hour show starting May the 17th. That's Tuesday, May the 17th. And we will be addressing the topic of finances for 1 full hour. So for all of you mothers who are ready to increase financially, single fathers who are ready to increase financially, and you already have a business going or some business ideas, but you need assistance putting things into place and to creating an ATM machine for yourself, a money system for yourself, we will get into how you're going to go about, you know, making 6 and 7 figures. Now, I do encourage people to be realistic, because you may not, you know, make 6 figures in your first month. You may only make 5 figures, but I guarantee you that the system that I'm going to help you to put into place, you will create a money engine for yourself. So on that note, I want to wish everyone a blessed Saturday, and I want to thank everyone, and I want to wish everyone a good day.
Yes, and I am Victoria Shakoor, and much love to all the callers and listeners. Thank you for calling in and sharing in the conversation. And thanks to my host, Aurora, and we will see you on Tuesday. You can, to find out more about me, you can visit my website at singleparentingmastery.com, singleparentingmastery.com. My Facebook is Victoria R. Shakoor, and you can also follow me on Twitter at Tori, Tori, _ 4, sure, and Instagram at Tori for sure.
Thank you so much, Miss Lovely Victoria. Thank you, Pastor McKenzie. Thank you. And we
You're
wish
welcome.
you, until next time, ta-ta.
Bless you. Bye-bye.
Danny, I just figured out that if I switch to Metro PCS, I get 2 Samsung Galaxy phones free.
Cool, Dad.
And I could be a super dad with 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones and call myself Double Galaxy Man.
Or you could give the second phone to your sidekick.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
That's right. 2 free Samsung Galaxy On5 smartphones are all yours when you switch to Metro PCS. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Danny, I just figured out that if I switch to Metro PCS, I get 2 Samsung Galaxy phones free.
Cool, Dad.
And I could be a super dad with 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones and call myself Double Galaxy Man.
Or you could give the second phone to your sidekick.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
That's right. 2 free Samsung Galaxy On5 smartphones are all yours when you switch to Metro PCS. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.